Welcome to Study the Bible with me. Today we're continuing from where we stopped last time, so grab your Bible and let's dig right in. Numbers chapter 14. Then all the community raised a loud cry, and the people wept that night. And all the Israelites murmured against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, "If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had perished in this wilderness. Why has the Lord brought us into this land only to be killed by the sword, that our wives and our children should become plunder? Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt?" So they say to one another, "Let's appoint a leader and return to Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell down with their faces to the ground before the whole assembled community of the Israelites. And Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, two of those who had investigated the land, tore their garments. They say to the whole community of the Israelites, "The land we passed through to investigate is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, then he will bring us into the land and give it to us, a land that is flowing with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their protection has turned aside from them, but the Lord is with us. Do not fear them." However, the whole community threatened to stone them, but the glory of the Lord appeared to all the Israelites at the tent of meeting. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people despise me? How long will they not believe in me, in spite of the signs that I have done among them? I will strike them with a pestilence, and I will disinherit them. I will make you into a nation that is greater and mightier than they." Moses said to the Lord, "When the Egyptians hear it, for you brought up these people by your power from among them, then they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. They have heard that you, Lord, are among these people, that you, Lord, are seen face to face, that your cloud stands over them, and that you go before them by day in a pillar of cloud and in a pillar of fire by night. If you kill this entire people at once, then the nations that have heard of your fame will say, 'Because the Lord was not able to bring these people into the land that they sought them, he killed them in the wilderness.' So let the power of the Lord be great, just as you have said. The Lord is slow to anger and abounding in loyal love, forgiving iniquity and transgression, but by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children until the third and fourth generation. Please forgive the iniquity of these people, according to your great loyal love, just as you have forgiven these people from Egypt, even until now." The Lord said, "I have forgiven them as you asked. But truly, as I live, all the earth will be filled with the glory of the Lord. For all the people have seen my glory and my signs that I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and yet have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not obeyed me. They will by no means see the land that I swore to their fathers, nor will any of them who despised me see it. Only my servant Caleb, because he had a different spirit and has followed me fully, I will bring him into the land where he had gone, and his descendants will possess it." Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites were living in the valleys. "Tomorrow turn and journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea." The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, "How long must I bear with this evil congregation that murmurs against me? I have heard the complaints of the Israelites, that they murmured against me. Say to them, 'As I live, says the Lord, I will surely do to you just what you have spoken in my hearing. Your dead bodies will fall in this wilderness. All those of you who were numbered according to your full number, from 20 years old and upward, who have murmured against me, you will by no means enter into the land where I swore to settle you.' The only exception are Caleb son of Jephunneh and Joshua son of Nun. But I will bring in your little ones, whom you said would become victims of war, and they will enjoy the land that you have despised. But as for you, your dead bodies will fall in this wilderness, and your children will wander in the wilderness 40 years and suffer for your unfaithfulness until your dead bodies lie finished in the wilderness. According to the number of the days you have investigated this land, 40 days, 1 day for a year, you will suffer for your iniquities 40 years, and you will know what it means to thwart me. I, the Lord, have said, I will surely do so to all this evil congregation that has gathered together against me. In this wilderness they will be finished, and there they will die. The men whom Moses sent to investigate the land, who returned and made the whole community murmur against him by producing an evil report about the land. Those men who produced the evil report about the land died by the plague before the Lord. But Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among the men who went to investigate the land, lived. When Moses told these things to all the Israelites, the people mourned greatly. And early in the morning they went up to the crest of the hill country, saying, Here we are, and we will go up to the place that the Lord commanded, for we have sinned. But Moses said, Why are you now transgressing the commandment of the Lord? It will not succeed. Do not go up, for the Lord is not among you, and you will be defeated before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you. You will fall by the sword, because you have turned away from the Lord. The Lord will not be with you. But they dared to go up to the crest of the hill, although neither the ark of the covenant of the Lord nor Moses departed from the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country swept down and attacked them as far as Homer. Chapter 15. The Lord spoke to Moses, Speak to the Israelites and tell them, When you enter the land where you are to live, which I'm giving you, and you make an offering by fire to the Lord from the herd or from the flock, whether a burnt offering or a sacrifice for discharging a vow, or as a freewill offering, or in your solemn feasts, to create a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Then the one who presents his offering to the Lord must bring a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of olive oil. You must also prepare 1/4 of a hin of wine for a drink offering, with a burnt offering or the sacrifice for each lamb. Or for a ram, you must prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of olive oil. And for a drink offering, you must offer 1/3 of a hin of wine as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And when you prepare a young bull as a burnt offering, or a sacrifice for discharging a vow, or as a peace offering to the Lord, then a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour mixed with half a hin of olive oil must be presented with a young bull. And you must present as the drink offering half a hin of wine with the fire offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. This is what is to be done for each ox, or each ram, or each of the male lambs or the goats. You must do so for each one according to the number that you prepare. Every native born person must do these things in this way to present an offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. If a resident foreigner is living with you, or whoever is among you in future generations, and prepares an offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, he must do it the same way you are to do it. One statute must apply to you who belong to the congregation and to the resident foreigner who is living among you as a permanent statute for your future generations. You and the resident foreigner will be alike before the Lord. One law and one custom must apply to you and to the resident foreigner who lives alongside you. The Lord spoke to Moses, Speak to the Israelites and tell them, When you enter the land to which I'm bringing you, and you eat some of the fruits of the land, you must offer up a raised offering to the Lord. You must offer up a cake of the first of your finely ground flour as a raised offering. As you offer the raised offering of the threshing floor, so you must offer it up. You must give to the Lord some of the first of your finely ground flour as a raised offering in your future generations. If you sin unintentionally and do not observe all these commandments that the Lord has spoken to Moses, or that the Lord has commanded you by the authority of Moses, from the day that the Lord commanded Moses and continuing through your future generations, then if anything is done unintentionally without the knowledge of the community, the whole community must prepare one young bull for a burnt offering. For a pleasing aroma to the Lord, along with its grain offering and its customary drink offering, and one male goat for a purification offering. And the priest is to make atonement for the whole community of the Israelites, and they will be forgiven, because it's unintentional, and they have brought their offering, an offering made by fire to the Lord, and their purification offering before the Lord for their unintentional offense. And the whole community of the Israelites and the resident foreigner who lives among them will be forgiven, since all the people were involved in the unintentional offense. If any person sins unintentionally, then he must bring a yearly female goat for a purification offering. And the priest must make atonement for the person who sins unintentionally, when he sins unintentionally before the Lord, to make atonement for him, and he will be forgiven. You must have one law for the person who sins unintentionally, both for the native born among the Israelites and for the resident foreigner who lives among them. But the person who acts defiantly, whether native born or a resident foreigner, insults the Lord, that person must be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of the Lord and has broken his commandment. That person must be completely cut off. His iniquity will be on him. When the Israelites were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering wood on a Sabbath day. Those who found him gathering wood brought him to Moses and Aaron and to the whole community. They put him in custody because there was no clear instruction about what should be done to him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "The man must surely be put to death. The whole community must stone him with stones outside the camp." So the whole community took him outside the camp and stoned him to death, just as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them to make tassels for themselves on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and put a blue thread on the tassels of the corners. You must have these tassels so that you may look at it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and obey them, and so that you do not follow after your own heart and your own eyes that lead you to unfaithfulness. Thus you will remember and obey all my commandments, and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God." We're going to be stopping here today. Next time we're going to be starting from Numbers chapter 16. I'll see you then.